The final elasticity that we can talk on the demand side is the income elasticity of demand, which measures consumers' responsiveness to changes in income. So not surprisingly, we're just changing up the variables just a little bit in order to get another elasticity. Here, we're going to be changing the percentage change in quantity for a particular good and your percentage change in your income. Formally, mathematically, we can see it right here, percentage change in quantity of good A divided by the percentage change in your income. So when we change your income, exactly how is that going to change your quantity demanded for this particular good? And if we wanted to open this up a little bit, this equation up a little bit more, we can absolutely go ahead and do so with the midpoint formula. So the midpoint formula is going to be used in every single elasticity that we have, and the sort of methodology is going to be very, very consistent. So here, take a look at the income elasticity. Income elasticity. And in economics, we denote income with a shorthand Y. So EY right here, that's going to be our income elasticity of demand. And once again, just to build this up with the midpoint formula, we have the numerator, which is going to be the percentage change in quantity. So Q1 minus Q0 divided by Q0 plus Q1 divided by 2. So here, once again, orders of operation do matter. Don't forget the brackets. And this is going to give us the percentage change in QD. So percentage change in QD, quantity demanded for whatever good we're taking a look at. And then in the denominator, we have our new variable, which is going to be income. So how much are we changing your income by? We have Y1 minus Y0 divided by Y0 plus Y1 divided by 2. So once again, income is going to be denoted with a shorthand Y right here. And this is going to give us the denominator, which is the percentage change in income. So basically right here, once again, we have an initial income, we have initial quantity demanded, and then we have a final income and a final quantity demanded. When we have all these variables, we substitute them into our midpoint formula for the income elasticity, and we will get one singular number. As before, the signs do matter with income elasticity, so do not take the absolute value when you do the income elasticity demand, because positive and negative signs are going to matter. And this sign determines what type of good we're taking a look at. Is it a normal good? Is it an inferior good? Or is it a luxury good? So here, the sign really truly matters. Also, the magnitude does matter as well. And once again, this is the more formal way to define the normal or inferior or luxury goods that we sort of introduced in chapter number 3. So what happens if we get elasticity of income or income elasticity that is positive but less than 1, so a fraction. So in between 0 and 1, we consider these to be normal goods. As income rises, consumers are going to buy more of these normal goods, and vice versa. As income falls, you're going to buy fewer of these normal goods. So the vast majority of items that we think about nowadays that we purchase on an everyday basis, we can consider these to be normal goods. But specifically, if it's a positive income elasticity but in between 0 and 1, so essentially a decimal or a fraction, we will consider it to be a normal good. What happens if the income elasticity is positive but greater than 1? We consider these to be luxury goods. So as income rises, purchases of luxury goods rise by more than the change in income. So these are luxury goods like the name implies, so mansions, caviar, yachts, very expensive items. We consider these to be luxury goods because the elasticity of the income elasticity is positive and larger than 1. So be very careful about the magnitudes. But what happens if we have an income elasticity that is less than 1 or a negative number? That's where we go ahead and have inferior goods. So here, remember that these inferior goods, if we increase your income, you're going to want less of this good and vice versa. If your income falls, you're going to buy more of these particular goods. So we said that cheap foods, tickets for a bad sports team, cheap housing, these are all examples of these inferior goods. So we have our third elasticity in this sort of section for the demand side. We have price elasticity demand, which measure exactly how much quantity demanded is going to change for a change in price for the same exact good. We have cross elasticity demand, which takes a look at exactly what happens to the quantity percentage change in quantity of good A when the percentage change in quantity of good B changes, so two different goods. And then finally here we have the income elasticity to see exactly what happens to the percentage change in a good A when we change your income, so the percentage change in your income. So 3 different elasticities, just sort of mixing up the variables a little bit, but we still use the same exact midpoint formula with all of them. And do remember that in a few of these in a few of these elasticities, sometimes you will need to take the absolute value, sometimes you will not. Sometimes the sign does matter, sometimes the sign does not. So you do really want to be very careful and read these problems very, very carefully. Be cognizant about what the question is asking you, and you'll know exactly what type of elasticity is being asked of you to solve for. With all of this in mind, we can go ahead and turn our attention to the supply side and see exactly how supply elasticity is going to be derived the same exact manner that we did on the demand side. So I'll see you guys in that lecture.